on stage in Turkey, just for a game, like while I was there, I went, I think Erdogan is. And the entire audience are like, no.
What's the next brilliant thing?
Being stoned in airports.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you have to be gay in a Saudi airport.
Yes.
And people will just start throwing stones at you.
Yes.
And it's just a really freeing feeling.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next thing.
He gets it.
Have you ever done stand-up in a place where, like I was in Singapore recently, have you done stand-up in Singapore?
Yeah.
But like, when there's a list of things you're not allowed to discuss.
Oh, yeah. And when not like a list that the promoter gives you, like a list that the government's like, if you criticize the government, people will know. In Singapore, I met a comedian there. There's a term that they have, which is called having tea with the government as a comedian.
Right.
Which is like if you do a joke about the government, the next day, while just out in a very safe cafe, because Singapore is one of the most safest cities in the world because of the government. A friend of mine is in Singapore, did a joke about them. Next day was sat down. His friend went to the toilet, and then two officials came and sat across from him, and were just like, "Hey, that was a good show last night.
Flipping out.
Just to let you know, this joke can't be done again." And he was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And then they left the restaurant. His friend came back and was like, "Who was your two friends?" He was like, "I don't want to." Oh, that's why I also find like whenever Brits and Americans are like, there's censorship in comedy. It's I've done gigs in Russia, right? Before I was about to say before they were the bad guys. They've always been the bad guys. I did it back in like 2018, 19. And like I had to literally send through my entire set. And they were like, you can't do any pro-gay stuff. You can't do any anti-religion stuff. You obviously can't do any anti-fucking Putin stuff. And then you go there and you get drunk on vodka and you're like, I'm going to do the pro-gay stuff just to fucking see what happens here. And the audience is there for it. Like, obviously, one of the things that you learn about touring and going to these places is like there's the government of these countries which you see, and then there's the people. Regardless of which country you go to, you will always find that little group. It might be a big group of like alternate people, or it might be a small group, but it exists in every
those
country.
countries, if it seeps out of the room, you are in serious
absolute
shit.
fucking danger.
That's the big difference, isn't it? That you will always do well in the room.
Yeah.
And it's that thing of like when you're out of the room going, right, when's the flight? like just in case.
I had a gig in Hong Kong back in 2019, and I was in the middle of a massive mental breakdown on the road. And at the Hong Kong gig, it was just when China had banned face masks in Hong Kong for the protests, said it was all the acts of fucking terrorists. I was having a breakdown in Hong Kong. I was very, very drunk by the time I got on stage, very unprofessional, but I was in the middle of something. And at the end of my set, just because the gig had gone well, I got like that boost, no matter how sad I felt during the day, having that audience being on fucking side. While whiskey drunk on stage, I pulled a mask out my back pocket and I put it on my face. And I ended the show with Free Hong Kong. And the audience lost their fucking mind. And I got off stage and my agent was like, okay, our flight's in 3 hours.
Yeah.
And we can't play Hong Kong again.
Yeah.
Just to like you're not allowed to do that. Well done. Those 270 people know you're an ally. It's all over.
Yeah.
we gotta fight. We gotta fucking leave, buddy.
Yeah, and the money will probably stay here.
Yeah.
But if we can get you out, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny though, isn't it?
And I regret it because since then, that simple act didn't free Hong Kong, so I don't know what more I could have done. Lads, how much more do you want me to do? What, do you need like a fucking Facebook post? What's up?
I remember I was in Hong Kong recently and it was fun, but it was that it's whenever you're dancing around stuff that you just go, is this like I said there was a guy that was supporting me, and I said it's very rare to go to a place where the place is going, oh, I wish the British were still in charge. And he went, oh, that's really funny. Do not say that. And that's the problem that you get throughout the whole gig. Yeah. I know I've got this kind of, this punchline there, but you go, And your brain goes, you tell me what you could do. You could say that thing. And he said it was really funny. And you're going, yeah, but you could land it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And then there's other voice going, yeah, but you might end up in prison.
Yeah. In both Turkey and...
Which doesn't happen in America.
No. In America, I can go on stage. As much as people come, oh, free speech is dying. You losers. It's not. I can go on stage in this country and I can go, I think Keir Starmer's a piece of shit. I wish that helicopter crash had killed Nigel Farage. I wish this. I think Jacob Rees-Mogg, all these people are fucking pieces of shit. Donald Trump's awful. Kamala Harris was a bad candidate. You can say all these things. People will disagree with you. You get public flack backwards. On stage in Turkey, just for a game, like while I was there, I went, I think Erdogan is. And the entire audience are like, no, don't. Not even as a fucking joke. Do not. And I'm like, and then in India, I'm like, I think Modi could be. And they're like, don't. Anywhere in this country, I go on stage and go, I think Keir Starmer is.
Go on, mate, he's a cunt.
Like, he's a fucking yeah. Like, we've got it. Like, we have, don't listen to these fucking GB News, air quotes, comedians, people who never got the fucking success because they weren't represented by the right agencies and the algorithm and doing them favours. Don't believe their idea that our free speech is under attack just because you can't say the slurs that they want to say anymore.
Yeah,
like,
amen. What were we talking about before we got into
being stoned in airports?
And this conversation has the same linear quality that you'd have if you were stoned.
Well, so I've never been stoned in an airport, but
The greatest.
I've been mind numbed. Where like in where we were in Canada and we were there for like 8 hours, and it's just so brutal, and you just hit that level of like brain fog.
Yeah.
So it must be quite nice to sort of go in with your brain going, it's fine.
Yeah, well, also, man, our job is travel. Like, I get so wound up in airports because no airport in the world needs to be as inconvenient as it is, right? Any understaffing in any airport is a choice by the airport. Airports know exactly to the man how many people are coming through their airport at what time. Right? They know exactly how many buses are needed. They know exactly how many customs people are needed. They know exactly. Any queues are a choice that the owner of that airport made to be like, fuck them, right? And it infuriates me. And then they hide behind that thing of like, please be nice to our staff. And you're like, I'm not angry at the fucking staff. I'm angry at you for making this fucking shit. And how dare you make this shit thing and put these people in front of me. And I want to tell them. I want to tell every person in Heathrow Terminal 5, right? Which is, do you understand that you work in an airport? I know this is your job, but do you understand everyone coming through here has a flight to catch in an hour, and you all having a conversation with each other should be punishable by death, right? If I see any fucking security person be like, Sam, how was your... Nobody gives a fuck! Put my fucking thing through the fucking thing, or I'm actually going to blow this whole fucking place up.
But their silver bullet to all that is, I'm going to put my finger up your ass. But it's so, isn't it? It's that funny thing that you, like, if you were to flip out like you just did then, like, they'd be so deep, it would come out of your mouth. do you know what I mean? It's just
alien, like the extra little tongue from the alien.
But I think that's what keeps us sort of serene, isn't it? It's the threat of being fingered.
Obviously, it is illegal to smuggle drugs into a new country, right? It is not illegal, especially in the UK, to have drugs on you, especially weed, if it's for personal fucking use. And also, no airport that you're departing from is ever checking for drugs, right? They're checking for bombs, and they're checking for weapons, and they're checking for, like, illegal... It's the job of the port that you're arriving in to stop you bringing drugs in. So you can take as many drugs as you like before or just in an airport. So I take an edible with me. I have a little puff, go through security, makes me way more serene. I'm just high. I'm like, man, I'm stressed because I'm at work. I do this every fucking day. And now I'm looking around, I realise 80% of people are going on their holidays. Fucking look how much fun all these people are about to have going on their holidays. This is inconvenient, but what a fucking weird thing we've done. Then you get through, I take a fucking edible, and I'm like, they're like 2 hour delay. And I'm like, great. 2 hours, I get to watch a fucking movie in that time. It'll all be fine. If I'm not stoned, I'm sitting there being like, which BA flight attendant is about to get
So
I was about to say, get my ire. I've never been rude to a member of staff in my life. I don't have that.
Yeah,
Me in my head to airport staff is so much more violent, aggressive than actual me in real life. Who's like, hi, I'm sorry. You lost all my bags and my child. And I actually like those things. Is that you're busy right now? It's so I'll be here.